Okay, good afternoon or good evening, wherever you're joining from as well. Thank you for joining the Skill Tech Institute Business Analysis webinar, and it's a great pleasure to have you here with us today. Thank you very much for joining. We can still share the link out to individuals if you still want to invite people as well, but we're going to proceed as we go right now. So, I mean, today's reason for the webinar, just to have a brief introduction of Skill Tech, the business analysis training we carry out, how long we do it for, what you stand to gain from it as well, and hopefully get you on that journey of becoming a business analyst as well. So if you have questions, you could please just type your questions in the chat, and we have our co-host who is going to be managing that as well, because I'm going to be sharing on full screen shortly as well. So there will be time for you to, you know, get answers to those questions as you type it in as well. So we also have some of our, students who have been with on the training as well to give some feedback on how the training has gone. So, okay, we'll just proceed as we go. Again, say thank you again for coming on this amazing webinar. Right. So Skill Tech, who's Skill Tech? Skill Tech are amazing institution, organization who are, filled with amazing people, especially individuals who are working within the business analyst field, with a combined total experience about 30 years as well. So we have great information bank of all members of the Skill Tech Institute. What we aim to do is empower individuals to ensure that they, I just put on my camera, I do apologize, didn't realize it was off. Okay, to empower individuals to make sure they can definitely get into that field of business analysis and, empower themselves and get as much, information from us to actually do that and get on that journey. Okay, so I'm going to turn on my camera so there's no distractions, so we can actually just focus. I just want to say hello to everyone, and I will be putting it back on as well. Okay, so let's carry on. A lot of people have got questions. What is business analysis? What is the importance of business analysis and business in today's business landscape, and what is the role of a business analyst? There's been a lot of different assumptions, presumptions, definitions of what people think business analysis is. And for me, it's quite simply an individual who stands in between the information technology team, that's the IT team, and the business to bring about change within the organization. It's quite simply that, because the business speaks a different language, IT departments speak a different language as well. So as a business analyst, you need to, I use the word elicit. I'll probably explain what that means later on. Elicit requirements from the business, then translate those requirements into a format that the IT department is able to understand, to implement and create that software which brings about change within the organization. And also we look at, what is the importance of today's in today's business, for business analysis, analysis, I should say. That word always, so it's always tongue-tied. I mean, businesses always want to stay ahead of the curve because there's a lot of competition within the industry, especially, as you know, technology is always progressing, is always changing. So businesses need to stay on top of their game. And I've asked people to tell me, will business analysis roles ever become extinct? And the answer is purely no, because every business wants to leverage on new technology, improve business processes, and most importantly, enhance customer experience, because they want to be on top of that game. And how do they do this? They need to have individuals, hopefully like, one or two of you or everyone on this call at the moment, who wants to become a business analyst, to say, you know what, I want to get on this. I want to get on this journey of being able to be part of delivering change within an organization. So the importance of it, again, stay ahead of the curve. Businesses want to do that, improve business processes, enhance customer experience, and that's where business analysts come in. Again, what is the role of a business analyst? I touched on that a minute ago. I touched on that a minute ago, which is basically simply I actually describe us because I'm a business analyst as well. I've been doing that for close to about 13 years now. I call ourselves, or I describe ourselves as change enablers, because your role again is to get that information or get what the business wants, translate it into requirements, and deliver to the IT department so they can implement that solution to bring about that change. So we are professionals who specialize in business analysis. We use various tools and techniques to evaluate the existing processes, which I mentioned earlier. One of the reasons businesses one business an analyst to come on board is to evaluate current processes for improvement and also look at existing systems and also look at strategies in how to improve businesses within different shall I say sectors. You've got finance, you've got insurance, and the reason for that is revenue. Revenue is the key factor as that. So we enable change within organizations to definitely increase the position to find themselves or possibly increasing revenue and also being ahead of curve. And most importantly, again, having a great customer experience for their clients or customers. Okay, key responsibilities of a business analyst. As I mentioned earlier as well, gathering and documenting requirements. I hear you ask me, what is a requirement? A requirement is basically a statement from the user's perspective. So these are things we cover during the training as well to ensure you have the knowledge to go into a role as a business analyst, analyzing business needs and problems. As we mentioned earlier as well, the role of a business analyst, you need to understand the existing processes, understand what the existing system is as well, what is happening within that organization, so you can put forward maybe suggestions. Again, we don't solutionize, we only just put in a bit of suggestions forward. And also defining solution strategies. Again, we mentioned strategies there, understanding what the business is trying to achieve as well, facilitating communication between stakeholders. Who are the stakeholder? Anyone within the organization can be a stakeholder, a business side, a department side person in the department. You want to gather requirements from them and facilitate that communication between the IT department, as we mentioned earlier, gathering those requirements and moving it across into a language or translate into a language where the IT department can deliver the solution that the business actually wants as well. Managing project scope and changes as well, ensuring things like scope creep don't come in as well, and also managing the changes, dependent on the methodology being adopted by the organization. We have the waterfall methodology and we have the agile methodology as well. These are things that we cover during the training as well. So moving on. So what is a business analysis process? Planning and scoping. Elicitation, which I mentioned earlier as well. It's just elicitation is supposed to be defined as a way to gather information from your stakeholders. As I mentioned earlier as well, stakeholders are individuals within that organization. Anyone can be a stakeholder, although we can classify them into SMEs or just your basic user as well. Again, we cover this during the training we deliver here at Skill Tech Institute as well. Also, the process of analyzing and documentation, it's very key as well. And here is about understanding those requirements, presenting them in a very, very clear, unambiguous way where anyone can actually read and understand it, using tools available to you to actually document this requirements as we speak. Again, we cover this during our training and ensure you're a master at this as well. Solution design as well. This is where you employ things around process design. So look at what is the current state and the future state, and also look at what gaps needs to be covered to get from that current state to that future state as well. Validation and verification. This is one of the most important steps within the business analysis process as well, where you have to ensure you validated and verify the information you've gathered from your stakeholders before presenting it to the IT department to ensure they build exactly what the stakeholders have in mind. Also, we have the requirements management and communication bit as well. Again, the information you elicit from your stakeholders has to be managed in such a way that changes can occur within that. You have to keep track of those changes as well. We go into different planning sessions as well, going to workshops. All managing that as well, always keeping the stakeholder up to date with information as well, and also back and forth sometimes with the IT department or the development team as well, because they implement all those requirements you've gathered during your stakeholder engagement sessions. Again, we cover all of this within the training we give. Okay, what are the skills and competencies of a business analyst? I mean, one of the questions I've always, encountered from, potential students or students before they come on board is, oh my God, I'm not very technical. Oh my God, I don't really know any technical jargons. How am I going to be able to be a business analyst? You don't really need to be so technical to be a business analyst. I always say to my prospective students or anyone who wants to join Skill Tech, all you need is that enthusiasm and the willpower to say, you know what, I want to make this happen. I want to get into this. I want to be a business analyst. As long as you have that, we deal with talking things around, because one of the things we deal with as well is things around imposter syndrome. I'm not going to go into that too much because you have to be part of the training to know more about that as well. So if you focus more on the soft skills you need, as well, and some of the technical skills you need, which we all cover in there. But what are the one of the basic things you need? Analytical thinking and problem solving, communication and interpersonal skills, documentation and reporting skills, domain knowledge and industry expertise. I mean, that's subjective. You domain knowledge is something you can acquire, when you're in a role, because there's loads of tools out there which we always encourage individuals to do through some of our workshops that we put together, and also assignments we always give out as well to broaden your knowledge as well. Interest or expertise, possibly that builds up within time as well. Technical understanding, again, depending on industry, because for example, you're working in a construction company, your level of, technical understanding might not be so much required in looking at maybe working within a web development industry again. But again, when we say technical understanding, it's not languages that you have to understand, things like Java programming languages, or understand how to code. No, not at all. It's more of like, just have a bit of understanding how you relate information between the two departments we mentioned, which is the business and also the IT department as well. Okay, so let's carry on. Tools and techniques for to be a business analyst or for business analysis. We've talked about the requirement management as well. Again, the tools, much used within or across all industries. We have the Jira tool, we have Confluence and DevOps. These tools will be made available to you while you're on the course as well, to ensure that you have that first-hand knowledge, during and after the training as well, is installed on your device to make sure, what, I can go to at any point in time. And also the support is always going to be there while you have this installed on your PCs or whatever device you prefer. And also we talk about the diagramming tools. What do we mean by diagramming tools? We're talking about Microsoft Visio, which is a part of the Microsoft suite as well. That is installed on your machine as well, to have that direct again one-to-one first-hand use of it as well, because you're going to be creating process maps. And also we do give out shall I say, home assignments to create process maps as well, to help you get used to that process map creation. Lucidchart is an open source software or application which can be web-based. I mean, it's really a good one there as well. So we show you how to use all of these amazing tools as well. We have the collaboration tools as well. We have Slack. Slack, quite a number of organizations use that, but Microsoft Teams seems to be the preferred, software a lot of organizations use. So we carry out our training on Microsoft Teams. And why do we do that? So you have that first-hand knowledge of how to use Microsoft Teams as well, how to navigate around Microsoft Teams. So when you're in a role in the real life situations, it's quite easy for you to navigate around and do and use all the amazing applications within Microsoft Teams, and also understand that it can also be integrated with other requirement management tools such as Jira, Confluence, and DevOps as well. And also we look at the data analysis and visualization tools as well. Excel is an amazing tool, and I'm sure possibly a lot of people would know that, maybe, but we show you how to use that as well. We also have Tableau as well as a data visualization, data analysis visualization tool as well. Power BI is another amazing tool as well. So we go into a bit of data analysis as well, because as a BA, you need to understand, different types of data and how you analyze this data sometimes to actually show when you're actually maybe presenting to a stakeholder to make them understand more about what you're trying to gather as well, what you're trying to present as well. So, I mean, these tools, as I mentioned, we all cover it during the training as well. And what are the benefits of being of business or benefits of business analysis? Improve projects success, cost, time, and saving through effective requirements gathering. I mean, I can't stress this enough. Requirements gathering is a very key thing for any business analyst. When you're doing a business analysis, excuse me, requirements gathering is very important. So we really focus that on that a lot, and also how you write your user stories as well, which is very important. The user story is a statement from the perspective of the stakeholder or the user of that particular software, or would be user of that particular software. Enhance stakeholder satisfaction, because you're engaging them, isn't it? You're engaging them, you're definitely listening to what they're saying, and you're writing it in the language to the IT department or dev department, and they're actually creating exactly what the stakeholder wants. Obviously they're going to be really satisfied with that as well. Minimal risk through and through analysis, because if it's agile, it's iterative. So, any errors, any issues occur, is picked up early in the project as well. Alignment of solutions, business goals as well, because the businesses say, what, this is where we want to get to. Business analysis has gone into, what the company wants, the business objective, and we've been able to deliver the business goal as well. So, I mean, benefits of business analysis. A lot of companies always do that as well. The market is always buzzing with amazing opportunities out there. As I mentioned earlier as well, if you have any questions, please just type it in the chat and we shall cover it when we get to that stage as well. Okay, so business analysis training program, the skill tech training program, the duration, the models, and the curriculum we cover. So duration is over a month, which is 4 weekends in the month. So we do Saturday and Sunday, 2 to 3 hours on a Saturday. We started from 2 o'clock. On the Sunday, again, 2 to 3 hours, starting from 3 o'clock as well. We cover all the models I've just gone through just a minute ago as well. When we have an overview session right at the end, where we during the third week we're going to do in the live project, and putting together a workshop as well to make sure that you're quite happy, you're quite confident in going to the, again, as I mentioned as well, you need that enthusiasm, you need that drive, you need that hunger that I want to change my life, I want to change my finances for the good. I want to be in a position earning about 550 or 600 a day, or minimum 350 a day is very, very, very possible as well. As I mentioned, hands-on workshops and practical exercises as well, very important around there, because process maps, practice makes perfect. You have the from the very simple process maps to all the way, again, to the cross-functional flows around, swim lanes and all of that as well. You need to be able to do that quite well as well. And also using things around data analysis, as we mentioned earlier as well, those tools around presenting data as well. We mentioned Excel, mentioned Power BI and Tableau as well. Again, we are great trainers here. We ensure that we use the IIBA, which is the standard for business analysts and business analysis as well. We do share that with you as well. It's about 500 pages. Most people will probably charge you for that, but we share that to you for free of charge at no extra cost for you. So if you wanted to go ahead and do a certification, and the IIBA certification, that is your go-to book as well. It's also your go-to book for any kind of information you're looking for, or just your bedtime reading as well. So I think, well, definitely having that on board is amazing. But I just need to stress as well, being a business analyst or going to business analysis or getting a job, within the field doesn't necessarily, mandate you to have, a certification. You don't have to have the IIBA certification, but you can have it if you want to have it as well. It's not, say it's a no, but it is, but it's not mandatory for you to have that training, as long as you can deliver as a business analyst and understand the principles around business analysis. That's what you need as well. Okay, we click in. Right, so we're going to quickly go to some of our amazing students, who I hope they are on here. I have to kind of unmute them as well. I think, should we go? Okay, let me go with one of our first student here. Who is here? For can I find them? I think I've located one. Paige, I'm going to ask you to go first, if you don't mind.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Paige. Hello. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for coming on board. So I'll just give a quick introduction. So Paige has been a student at Skill Tech Institute as well. We just kind of invited her to just give us a brief, intro, and share experience as well, right from there, from the horse's mouth, I should say. So please, introduce yourself again, Paige, and tell us what field you're in and what your experience in the training has been, and also if you would recommend it as well. Don't worry, even if you say no, you're not going to recommend it, I'm not going to kick you out. It's okay. But please just tell us that as well. Please carry on.
Okay. Hello, everyone again. My name is Paige. My background is so different to, obviously, the analysis of the IT world. Qualified social worker. So I was a social worker for a couple of years. Did that for a few years, jumped into the customer service role. Then children. So, I've done so many other things. Then came across business analysis, and I approached my able coach here, and I was like, you know what, come on board. Before that, obviously, like I said, I had kids, and I've obviously had a long gap in employment, and I just didn't want to go back to any kind of job. We all know how the economy is. So apart from the fact that I wanted to actually equip myself and gain new skills, and skills I didn't have, or develop the ones I had for finances as well. I don't want to go into a job where I still can't make ends meet. So I said, why not go into the IT world or the analysis world? So I got in touch with Skill Tech, and it was like, okay, come on board. And I was really, really willing to turn everything around. So, I've never been in this field before. I was anxious in the beginning, but, after the second week in the training, I was like, no, oh my goodness, I learned so much things I never knew I would ever, learn. And with Yomi being the coach to us, it carries you along. It's easy for you to understand, even if you didn't have any sort of business related background or IT background. For beginners, anyone, it's easy for you to understand, and it gives you that confidence as well to say, I can do this. So I always encourage a lot of people when I speak to a few friends, they say, oh, Paige, did you do this? So, yeah, I did it. And, it's not as bad as I thought it would. Like Yomi said earlier, you really don't have to be an IT guru. I dislike IT. Anything to do with computing, Lord knows I can't stand it. But this changed my whole thinking and ideology. It's not as, daunting as we think it is. I can confidently tell you the role of a BA, to my knowledge, just coming onto this 4 weeks course. And I'll tell you, if you're coming on board, be ready. It's actually very intense. It's intense and you have to contribute. It's really intense and you will not regret it. So
Amazing.
thank you, Yomi, for this. Anyone that's having doubts, or should I do it, shouldn't I do it? Just go for it. Go for it. And you learn
Amazing.
on your job. Nobody gets it. We don't know it. You can be a BA for a year versus 5 years. We learn every day. But what I say to people is don't be downcasted. Just show up, turn up, and be willing to learn. Ask questions. Don't feel intimidated by anyone. It's a very supportive, community. So don't feel you're alone. We're all in
Amazing.
this together. Yeah.
Amazing.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Paige. Thank you. Really
Thank
appreciate your
you.
feedback there as well. Thank you. Okay, so as actually Paige actually reminded me of something there I forgot to mention. We do a very interactive session. It's not a session where you're just going to come in and mute yourself and just listen in. No, we don't do that. What we do is a very interactive session, and the reason we do an interactive session is like build that confidence because as a BA, as a business analyst, you have to be able to ask questions within a workshop. You have to be able to ask or raise points within a workshop. So we help you to build that confidence as you start the course. So you have to be able to ask questions. You have to be able to engage. And again, our rule is there's no stupid question. So I'm gonna
Mm.
go. I'm gonna go over to Mark now. So Mark, I'm just gonna unmute you. Mark, I hope you can hear me.
Yep, I can hear you. How are you, Yomi? You okay?
Fantastic. Thank you very much, and thank you for taking time out to come on here as well. Just wanted to, because you've been on the training course as well, just wanted to get your own perspective as well. So firstly, if you just introduce yourself, tell us what industry you're in, and what your experience has been like, and if you would recommend the training to anyone.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so my name is Mark. The field I currently work in is security operations, so quite different to business analysis. Although I've had previous experience, there's little doing business. Business analysis is quite different to what I expected it to be. Why is it different? I feel it's different in the sense that, like, for example, I'll give you an example of something I've just learned. We're in week 3 now, or we've just completed week 3 of our course, of my course anyway, I should say. And one of the key things that I've learned is just to keep things very simple. Whereas in my previous industry, I was always, it requires a depth and a certain depth of complex thinking. So I'm still going back to that route of complexity, whereas business analysis just kind of teaches you how to simplify things, how to present information to your higher up. So again, there's transferable
Amazing.
skills there. And I'm thankful that I've come on the course because, it was something that I wasn't completely sure about. But Yomi assured me that he would, kind of walk all the students through, and sure to his word, he has done that. And I'm having an amazing experience, and I would absolutely recommend it for anyone, if not for the direct skills, but for the transferable skills as well that you obtain.
Amazing, Mark. Thank you very much. That's really amazing from you. Thank you. Okay, we're just going to do one
No
more.
worries.
We're going to do one more, and that'll be Abraham. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Hello,
Thank you so
Abraham.
much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. So, Abraham, thank you again for coming on board. Again, just introduce yourself, what field you're in, what your experience with the training has been, and if you would recommend it to anyone.
No, thank you so very much for having me on. Hello, everyone. My name is Abraham. I'm one of the current students going through this training. But just to give you a bit of background into myself, and I hope people are just going to consider what I'm saying to be the truth and nothing else. So I've got over close to a decade experience as a project manager. I've worked on infrastructure, big multi-billion project. But why am I doing this training? I identify quickly a gap between where I am now and what I want to do next, where I want to get to in my career progression. And business analysis is one of the key skills that brings you to the table where you advise even senior executives on how to invest in the project, in the portfolio as a whole. So when I heard about the training Skill Tech was doing, I've got a lot of certification, so I had to do a lot of deep dive into the institute to know what they're doing, and I really find them really credible. I've attended a lot of training. I have a lot of certification, like I said. So I don't just pay and just go with the flow. I have to be sure that every penny or every investment worth it. And I can definitely confirm that. And one of the reasons why I would probably encourage everybody on this call that is not currently on this training to go there to try and enroll is one thing that is quite important when it comes to all this professional career is the mindset thing. I know the facilitator touched upon imposter syndrome earlier, but that was really brief. But one of the very first thing that we did in my first lesson was that because you really need to have that right mindset. A lot of us can do more than we are currently doing. And I always joke with people that my job that I do, I was with HS1 for 4.5 years. And every time I see my job spec, there's no way I would have applied for it. And I've done that role for 4.5 years, getting bonus each year. So coming to this class, I mean, Skill Tech didn't know that background, and that's where I was coming from. But what the very first session, we talked about imposter syndrome, which everybody do have, and sometimes they kind of break us down and don't allow us to learn and be to put our all in it because we don't know. We almost self-sabotage at some point. But the fact that Skills Tech put that as a first thing it says a lot about how they do that. And the other thing that I would say quickly is that within my second week, Skill Tech are actually acting like a sponsor because they've sent a few recommendations on my behalf to people that say, "Oh, this guy is really, really good." I didn't ask for that; that was not part of the deal. But once they identify talent and see where you can grow, they are working behind the scene to get you to where you wanted to get to. As long as you're willing and you're ready to put in the work and just keep learning. And we ask questions. And I can tell you that I'm on the same session with Mark. And it's almost like we are brotherhood. We talked about everything from football related to our bank card, Tesco, your daily shopping, and everything like that. So it's really, really a good training. I can't really overemphasize how important being in the right training with the right people, where they will look after you end to end, what we call end to end in projects. They look after you from before the training all the way during the training, and even after the training, your interaction with Skills Tech doesn't end after the 4 weeks. It's almost like a lifelong thing, tutoring and sponsorship that you've got in there. So please, if you have any doubt, I will encourage you not to. I'll ask you to get going and get involved in there. Thank you so very much.
Fantastic. I mean, someone probably think I paid you for all of this amazing testimony you're giving us right now as well. But you know what, it's experience in there. And as he mentioned there, you know what, he has great experience within project management, and he's been working within the rail sector, which is quite an intense sector as well. So he coming on board, he had a mindset of a PM. And thought, oh my God, can I do this? And we talked about that. And you know what? He's been a great student. And also Marcus and also Paige. And so I want to say a big thank you to everyone who's giving that testimony as well. You could be giving that testimony as well at some point when we do have another one as well. So it's your chance to be or chase that dream as well. So I mean, the next part I wanted to just cover is, again, please do send in your questions as well as we go. We're going to be looking at all the questions as we go. So how do you register for the training program? What are contact details for the inquiries as well? You could just, I think most of you possibly got it on the flyer or invitation via WhatsApp. You can send a message to WhatsApp as well, or you can go on our website and you have the details of the phone number on there, which is skilltechinstitute.co.uk. All that information is on there. Once you have that information, what we do is have that initial call, understand where you're coming from, understand what your goals are, understand what you're trying to achieve, and and also understand if it's the right course for you as well, and if it's the right thing for you to get on as well. So I mean, it's something that, because we want to make you progress, we want to make you get into a BA role, because you know what, once you do, it's an amazing feeling that we were part of that great history, or great journey, I should say, as well. So I mean, again, it's www.skilltech institute.co.uk, or you can send us a WhatsApp on 074 956 3. Sorry, my guys are direct. That's my other number. 074 939 08582. I just typed that in there. 074 939 08582. So that's our number. We'll still possibly send it out to everyone on this Zoom as well, just in case. Just going to make that bigger so you can see it. So number is 074-939-08-582. So if you send us a WhatsApp on that one or a text, we shall come back to you and have that initial conversation. So question time as well. So we have our first question from, we have two more questions actually. Okay, we have a question. How does mentoring or hand-holding towards securing a job work for newbies? I mean, Abram alluded to that earlier as well, saying that, once you finish the training, it doesn't mean that's the end of it. No. Again, that's why we need that enthusiasm. You need that enthusiasm. You need that hunger that, I want to do this. So after the training, immediately we encourage you to create your CV. We have another session, look over your CV and make sure it's fit for purpose. We'll give advice on where advice is needed to improve that CV. Once you're happy with the CV and we're happy with the CV, we encourage you to start applying, at least apply like 50 jobs a day. Yes, you hear that right. 50 jobs a day. We point you to the right direction where you possibly should possibly get hits on your job. And also keywords is very important because we work with some recruiters as well, and they tell us a bit like, what we need to put in those keywords and stuff. So once you do that, we have a 3 session interview prep session, which is free as well, to make sure you can get that job. So we help you and push you as much as you want to be pushed again to get into that role. So I hope I've answered that question, Tolu, as well. Thank you for that question as well. So we always do that. So we have another question from Uche. How do you assist those trying to break into the sector in terms of interview prep or CV prep? Yeah, okay. I mean, I just answered that question, Uche. Again, thank you again. Again, as I mentioned, as soon as you finish the course as well, we definitely encourage you to get your CV done. Once you have it done, we have another session to look over the CV together, make sure you're happy, we're happy with it, and show the keywords in there and put suggestions forward for you to say, what, maybe to do this, do that. Because the most important thing is you want to know that CV. That's why you create that CV. Because if you create a CV for you, it might be like, oh my gosh, you have to start memorizing it again. But when you create it as well, it's easy for you to memorize your CV and talk about it as well. And we also encourage that, during the CV prep, put all keywords in there, but they do the interview prep. We always encourage that we pick out a project that you can talk about from, inception all the way to the end of that project. Because when you're able to talk about that, you cover most of the questions the interviewers might have as well. Hopefully I'm able to answer the question. So number again, I'll just, I'm going to send it to everyone in here so everyone has it. I'll just copy it. I hope I got the number right. 074-939-08-582. So if you just send us a WhatsApp on there, we can have a conversation. 074-939-08-582. Okay, I think we have another question. Uche, I hope I answered your question. Thank you for that. Another question to you, Adiola. Do you put your students in a live project after the training? If yes, to your projects that cover every industry, finance industry? I mean, you know what? That's a great question. So you can't put in a student outside or after the project. For me, doesn't really make sense because it's someone who doesn't know about BA or BA role. That's why you're coming on the training. So we have to go through that project together. So everything you learn from week 1, week 2, week 3, we put into practicality. So you've learned requirements gathering, what a BA does. You've talked about requirements gathering. You talk about the process of requirements gathering. You talk about data analysis. You talk about the SDLC lifecycle. All of that information is there now. It's all theory. So how do you now bring that into practice? It's about getting on the project. Because once you do a project, you can now put all those things you've learned, in all those lessons into reality, and it's easier for you to understand it better. Giving your project outside the training for me doesn't make sense. And also you asked the question, does it cover insurance, finance, and robotics? With BA, the foundation of a BA is elicitation. It's analyzing. It's been able to validate and verify. It's been able to do data analysis. Once you have that foundation, you can work in any industry. I mean, I've worked in insurance, I've worked in finance, I've worked in logistics, I've worked in cybersecurity, name it. I've worked in tech as well. And it's just because I have that foundation. So when you go in there, the domain knowledge you acquire is very important. That the first thing you need to do is understand the domain knowledge or gather the domain knowledge of what the business is about. So once you do that, you're able to then apply those skills that you have, you know, into the project as well. Because again, remember, you are a BA who is gathering information from stakeholders, the business, and translating those requirements to your development team or dev team who want to implement the change that the business wants to see. So you don't really need to have so much of robotic automation knowledge or too much all of that, but you can relate more with an SME within that organization, a subject matter expert who can talk you through, and you make notes that way. So you build your experiences as you go forth as well. I hope I answer that question. Okay, we have 2 more questions. Bola. Oh, okay, it's a big. Let me just. I need to make that bigger as well. So Bola says, I did a BA training with another e-learning platform, which is 4 weeks learning of learning, and currently working on a live project. And we've been in the discovery phase of the project for the last 4 months. What does the project cover? And is there a hand-holding to guide you every step? Do you have the stand-up meetings, daily stakeholder meetings, all of that? Okay, good question. Again, I'll come back to where you talk about discovery phase. I would say I'm a bit alarmed that the training is taking you through a discovery phase, because most organizations already have created a PID, a project initiation document, which covers all what needs to be done in that project. It's not necessary for BAs to be part of a discovery phase, because in my opinion, a discovery phase is like you're trying to discover what we're going to do. You're trying to discover, if we want this solution or not. We have the RFP stage, where the tender's gone to market. Everyone is already, they've defined what the business wants. If it's in-house, off-the-shelf buying, the company already knows that. But if now you're now going to a discovery stage within a training, I think it's just long. I think it's just prolonging the thing, because what you want to do is give them the fundamentals of understanding what the basis or the foundation of a business analyst does, which is a change enabler. And how do you enable change? By gathering requirements from your stakeholders all the way to your IT department. Although, yes, you have the different stages of you have your your planning stage, scoping stage, all of that, which I mean, I don't want to go into too much of that on here, because it's not training that we're doing, but we go through all of that. Where we define your product backlog, where we define your sprint backlog, where we define or look at that sprint retrospective, where we look at things around scope creep, all of that. We cover all of that in there. I believe once you have that as a BA, you can take on any challenge as well. And you talk about, do you have stand-up meetings, daily stakeholder meetings, and all of that? What is stakeholder meetings? Anyone in the industry can be a stakeholder. Once we are talking about a workshop or doing a workshop exercise, everyone within that workshop or any member or anyone there is a stakeholder. Do you know what I mean? We have that conversation. Anyone within the organization can be a stakeholder as well. So we talk about that. We do that role play as we go as well. And we talk about, daily meetings. When you talk about, do you have stand-ups and daily meetings? What is the essence of you having a stand-up or daily meetings if you don't know exactly what it's about? You have to explain it. Again, it's part of that foundation knowledge. You have to give a BA. Do you know what? Once you're in a stand-up meeting, what we're talking about is what we did yesterday, what we did today, or what you're doing today, and if there's any blockers. So you having that, I think is just a way prolonging and staying away from the core information you need to be passing on to your students within the training as well. Again, Bola, I will implore you to maybe reach out to me after this. I'll love to have a further discussion with you. But thank you for that question. Also, if you have impediments, how do you support the team? Again, we have a WhatsApp group, or you can come to us directly, and we are always available. So we have been writing a business case for the last 3 months. I think I don't know what to say to that. I am, but I mean that's a cause for concern. I mean, but I would think you should reach out to me on that directly, please, because I beg to we don't I think it's a waste of time. It's just a delay tactic in trying to um, give students the necessary knowledge. Because our trainers, we are working within the industry. We work as BAs, and we understand every aspect of being a BA as well. So I think joining the course will be a way to enlighten you to understand and know that, you know what, it's not as complicated as people think. Once you have the foundation of it, you can do it. Everyone on this call is a business analyst from my perspective, because everyone does it at some point in their life. You've you've gone to Tesco, you've gone to Sainsbury's, you've made a plan of what you want to buy as well, by gathering requirements from your house, because you've spoken to everyone in the house. What is missing in the house? What do we need to buy? That's your gathering requirements. So you go to the shop and pick up those requirements as well. At the till, they're validating those requirements for you, and they're paying you. I mean, you're paying, and that's it. That's delivered. That's a very short way of looking at how you are a business analyst. Again, once you have those fundamentals, I think anyone could be a BA as well. I think a lot of training. Yes, I'm not talking to talk about any other training, as we know, but we are talking about Skill Tech Institute training, where we deliver and empower individuals, no matter what the background is, to achieve that goal of becoming a great business analyst. Anyone have any other questions for me today? Okay, I can't see any hands up, so maybe we don't have any other questions as well. I mean, I want to say a big thank you to everyone as well. You're most welcome, Bola. Thank you for joining. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who's joined today. I've had an amazing session as well. So, I mean, I hope it's been a great session for you as well, and you've been able to learn and understand what a business analyst is, and also maybe also taking out the fear of you being a business analyst as well, because you know what, a lot of people have that fear. A lot of people think, oh, do we have a oh, what do I think we do? Oh, let me just find that. Where is it? Okay, let's go up there. Thank you, Paige, as well. Glad you enjoyed it as well. So, I mean, again, I hope I've been able to clear some myths and give you a better understanding of what a business analysis is as well, and also possibly removed any fears you have as well. I mean, you've heard from our fantastic students who have been part of our training session, and currently in our training session as well. So I look forward to welcoming on board all of you as well on the session today, to be part of Skill Tech Institute and understand and get that knowledge you need to get into that business analyst position. Again, I want to say a big thank you again for joining us today. It's been a pleasure having you on board, and I hope you've had a great time. So don't forget, reach out to us on our phone number by text on 074 939 08582. And yes, we look forward to welcoming you on board as well. Thank you again. Have a wonderful evening, and bye-bye for now.